It's a quiet morning in an Australian suburb, April 25th, 2025. Virginia Giuffre sits alone in her house in Western Australia. She is 41 years old. She has spent the last 2 decades fighting the most powerful men on the planet, testifying, suing, being called a liar by billionaires and princes. Her divorce is not yet final. Her children are caught in a custody battle. By the end of the day, Virginia Giuffre will be dead.
I think I had a really hard time sleeping. I still have a hard time sleeping at night.
Virginia Giuffre, who accused Prince Andrew of sexual assault, has died.
She takes her own life, the woman who blew the lid off the largest sex trafficking operation in modern American history, gone, and with her, the most important witness the world had left.
I think the nature of this kind of abuse means that you're conditioned to be silent.
And I was home, but it didn't feel like home because I wasn't the same person anymore.
If I wasn't afraid to come forward sooner, then maybe he wouldn't have done it to other girls.
But Virginia Giuffre is not where this story begins. To understand how a college dropout from Brooklyn built a criminal empire protected by presidents, princes, and prosecutors, we need to go back 40 years. 1974. A 21-year-old with no college degree walks into the Dalton School, one of the most exclusive private schools in Manhattan. Tuition costs more than most Americans earn in a year. The students are children of bankers, diplomats, media moguls. Jeffrey Epstein is hired to teach physics and math. He is charming, confident, and completely unqualified. The man who hired him is headmaster Donald Barr, a former member of the OSS, the precursor to the CIA. Epstein lasts 2 years. An internal evaluation finds his teaching skills lacking. He is fired, but it doesn't matter. At Dalton, he has learned something far more valuable than physics. He has learned how to move among the wealthy. A parent from the school, impressed by Epstein's confidence, refers him to Bear Stearns, one of Wall Street's most powerful investment banks. 2 months in, the firm discovers Epstein fabricated 2 college credentials on his resume. He talks his way out of it. By 27, he is a limited partner, earning $200,000 a year. He resigns in 1981 after an internal investigation into rule breaking. But by then, he has a new plan. In 1987, Epstein meets the man who will make everything possible. Les Wexner is the billionaire behind Victoria's Secret, The Limited, and Abercrombie & Fitch. They meet through a mutual acquaintance on a flight to Florida. Within a year, Wexner gives Epstein something almost unheard of in the world of finance: full power of attorney, total control over his money. Between 1991 and 2006, Epstein oversees the sale of roughly $3.1 billion in Wexner's company stock. Epstein founds J. Epstein & Company. His client list is supposedly limited to individuals worth $1 billion or more. Nobody outside his inner circle knows exactly how he makes his money. What people do know is that Epstein is suddenly, inexplicably rich. A 9-story mansion on the Upper East Side, bought from Wexner for $20 million, a $12 million estate in Palm Beach, a 7,600-acre ranch in New Mexico, an apartment in Paris, and in 1998, a 72-acre private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands called Little St. James. On the island, Epstein builds a compound, villas, swimming pools, a helipad, and at the southwest point, a strange blue-striped building. Permit records call it a music pavilion with a grand piano. What is actually built looks nothing like the plans. A golden dome sits on top. The inside is painted with constellations and zodiac symbols. Nobody asks questions, not yet. The operation runs like a pyramid scheme. Ghislaine Maxwell, the daughter of British media Baron Robert Maxwell, is its architect. She and Epstein recruit young women, many from economically disadvantaged backgrounds. The pitch is simple: modeling jobs, educational opportunities, work. The women arrive expecting a massage appointment. What follows is manipulation, control, and pressure to bring others into the circle. Each new recruit brings more recruits. The network expands across Epstein's properties: New York, Palm Beach, New Mexico, Paris, the island. They are flown on Epstein's private Boeing 727. The media will later call it the Lolita Express. The flight logs record hundreds of passengers over the years. Bill Clinton flies 27 times. Prince Andrew is logged on May 12, 2000. Other names in the manifests include Alan Dershowitz, Kevin Spacey, David Copperfield, Naomi Campbell. Appearing in a flight log does not prove misconduct, but it proves proximity. And proximity to Jeffrey Epstein is something that will haunt some of the most powerful people alive. One of the women recruited is Virginia Roberts. She works at the spa at Mar-a-Lago when Ghislaine Maxwell approaches her. Virginia will later take the name Giuffre. She will become the most important witness in the case. 2005, Palm Beach, Florida. A mother contacts police, alleging that Epstein paid her stepdaughter for inappropriate services. Investigators begin digging. Within months, they identify dozens of young women with similar accounts. The FBI picks up the case. The evidence is overwhelming. And then something happens that will take 2 decades to fully understand. U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta enters direct plea negotiations with Epstein's legal team. Leading Epstein's defense is Alan Dershowitz, the same Harvard professor who will later be named in the flight logs. The same man Virginia Giuffre will accuse of misconduct. On June 30th, 2008, Jeffrey Epstein pleads guilty to 2 state-level solicitation charges, not federal trafficking, not racketeering, state charges. He is sentenced to 18 months, but he doesn't serve it in state prison. He is housed in a private wing of the Palm Beach County Stockade. After 3.5 months, he is granted work release, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, outside of jail. The non-prosecution agreement grants immunity not just to Epstein, but to 4 named co-conspirators and any unnamed potential co-conspirators. The deal is kept secret from the victims, a direct violation of the Crime Victims' Rights Act, and it shuts down the FBI's ongoing investigation. 11 years pass. Epstein continues to operate. He hosts dinners with scientists, politicians, tech executives. He donates to universities. He cultivates relationships. Then on July 6, 2019, Jeffrey Epstein steps off a private jet at Teterboro Airport in New Jersey. Federal agents are waiting.
To a major story back here at home. A billionaire financier is in custody, sources say accused of trafficking girls in Florida and New York for sex.
Today, we announce the unsealing of sex trafficking charges against Jeffrey Epstein.
Convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein remains behind bars today on the latest child sex charges lodged against him.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter now pending should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
He is arrested and indicted on charges of sex trafficking of minors. He is taken to the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan and denied bail. On July 23rd, he is found in his cell with bruises on his neck, a possible suicide attempt. He is placed on suicide watch for 31 hours. Then he is removed from suicide watch. The psychology department orders that he must have a cellmate at all times. On August 9th, his cellmate is transferred out. The staff knows nobody replaces him. August 9th, 2019, 10:40 p.m. From this moment forward, Jeffrey Epstein is unmonitored and alone. Guards Tova Noel and Michael Thomas are assigned to check on him every 30 minutes. They fall asleep at their desk. For approximately 3 hours, nobody looks in on the most high-profile prisoner in America. They will later falsify more than 75 mandatory check records to cover the gap. Of 11 cameras in the special housing unit, 10 have malfunctioning hard drives. The one working camera produces footage that is deemed unusable. At 6:30 a.m. on August 10th, Epstein is found dead. A bedsheet is tied to the top bunk. He is hanging off the side of the bed. The autopsy reveals fractures to the left and right thyroid cartilage and the left hyoid bone. The New York City Chief Medical Examiner, Dr. Barbara Sampson, rules the death a suicide by hanging. Dr. Michael Baden, a forensic pathologist hired by Epstein's brother, disagrees. He says 3 fractures are extremely unusual in suicidal hangings. In 40 to 50 years, reviewing over 1,000 jail hangings in New York, he has never seen 3 fractures. He says the injuries are more consistent with homicidal strangulation. In June 2023, the Department of Justice Inspector General reviews the case, interviews dozens of witnesses, examines over 100,000 documents, affirms the suicide ruling, The cameras, the sleeping guards, the missing cellmate, the broken bones. No one is ever charged with murder. The 2 guards plead guilty to falsifying records. They receive no jail time. Ghislaine Maxwell runs. She buys a 156-acre estate in Bradford, New Hampshire, under a shell company. On July 2nd, 2020, the FBI finds her. The trial begins in late 2021. 4 women testify. They describe being recruited as teenagers, groomed by Maxwell, and delivered to Epstein. Maxwell's defense argues she is a scapegoat, that the government, having lost Epstein, needs someone to punish. On December 29th, 2021, the jury convicts Ghislaine Maxwell on 5 of 6 sex trafficking-related counts. She faces up to 65 years. On June 28th, 2022, she is sentenced to 20 years in prison. Jeffrey Epstein is dead. His chief accomplice is behind bars, and the files are still sealed. November 2025, Congress passes the Epstein Files Transparency Act. President Trump signs it into law. The Department of Justice is ordered to release everything. On December 19th, the first batch drops. 500 pages are entirely blacked out. Bipartisan outrage. Lawmakers say the DOJ has failed to meet the law's basic requirements. Then, on January 30th, 2026, the floodgates open. 3 million pages, 180,000 images, 2,000 videos, the largest disclosure of evidence in a sex trafficking case in history. The documents reveal communications between Epstein and White House advisors, an NFL team co-owner, Bill Gates, Elon Musk. In September 2025, Bloomberg had already obtained 18,000 emails from Epstein's personal account, and the consequences begin. In Europe, they come fast. On February 19th, 2026, his 66th birthday, Prince Andrew is arrested by Thames Valley Police. The charge, misconduct in public office. He is suspected of sharing confidential government documents with Epstein during his time as UK trade envoy. It is the first arrest of a senior British royal in nearly 400 years. Days later, Peter Mandelson, a former UK diplomat, is arrested on similar charges. Norway's former Prime Minister, Thorbjorn Jagland, is charged with aggravated corruption. In the United States, the response is different. Larry Summers steps away from Harvard. Brad Karp resigns as chair of law firm Paul Weiss. Tom Pritzker steps down from Hyatt Hotels, citing terrible judgment, resignations, not arrests. On February 2nd, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche states that no additional U.S. prosecutions are expected. An NPR investigation finds the DOJ removed or withheld files related to allegations against President Trump. 3 million pages, no new American indictments. Jeffrey Epstein operated for over 2 decades. He abused hundreds of girls across multiple countries. He was protected by a sweetheart deal, surrounded by the most powerful people on earth, and died under circumstances that remain, at minimum, deeply suspicious. Ghislaine Maxwell sits in a federal prison. She is the only person ever convicted in connection with his crimes. Virginia Giuffre, the girl recruited at 16 from a spa at Mar-a-Lago, fought for 20 years. She sued a prince. She testified before Congress. She published a memoir. And then, in April 2025, she was gone. 3 million pages of documents are now public. The names are out. The flight logs are out. The emails are out. And still, the question that started all of this remains unanswered. Who was Jeffrey Epstein really working for?